Welcome back everyone to our gameplay series of Transport Fever 2. And as we are zoomed in on one of our bus stops created in our most recent video, you can see we got a lot of traffic going on here. In fact, we've got some overcrowding, believe it or not. So this is certainly more traffic this early in the game than I expected, but I must admit, the fact that we got a new bus that is a good bit faster with more capacity when we did during this process has really helped things out. So as we zoom back out, we're here in Costa Mesa. So no surprise that this one is extremely busy, but you can see there is a lot of traffic, particularly going back and forth to Carrollton. If we bring up our line statistics, you can see we are getting very close to running out of capacity here. So we are, very close. 3 minutes, 6 minutes. I'm not crazy about the 6 minutes. I would like to move that number down lower, maybe closer to about 4 minutes maybe. But either way, money is flowing in quite nicely, particularly to Carrollton. Over $500, nearly $600,000 in profit on that one alone. So I think where I want to start is we're going to expand this particular network, the Costa Mesa to Carrollton network. So let's go ahead and back out a little bit, find our depot, and we're going to buy 2 more of these. And we're going to put these on Costa Mesa to Carrollton. And as we've seen before, that will certainly bring down this time. So it's already doing quite nice right now, and we'll have to see how that changes in the future. Costa Mesa to Seattle. Let's come back in and purchase one for it. I prefer to do these individually because I find myself getting confused. I end up confusing myself if I try to purchase a whole bunch and then spread them out later on. Just easier to keep it straight if I don't do it that way. All right, let's see. Do we need to expand? Actually, we could probably use another one up here. Let's go ahead and expand that. Okay, again, it only costs $12,000, so it's not going to break the bank to do that, as we're sitting at $345 million right now. All right, let's move over to Seattle, because one of the next things we're going to do after we check on Seattle and make sure there's no overcrowding and a need for an actual station over here. Look at that. Maybe there is, actually. Yeah, I would say so. As we begin to zoom in, you can see there's a lot of people here waiting. 42 people, in fact, waiting there. So it looks like we might want to go with a bus station there instead of just the stop. Let's come over to Carrollton, and we've already got a bus station here. But we want to configure and expand this. So even once you have the initial networks set up, you're certainly, by no stretch of the imagination, done with those. All right, so if we come back out, we got 17 waiting on each route, because remember, we got Murfreesboro added on a separate line as well. So that leads us right over to Murfreesboro to see what's going on here. We have just this one, and you can already see the people waiting here. That's 20 people. This is why I prefer to either do a bus station, or if I'm going to do just a bus stop, then I generally like to do a bus stop that is not on the main route, because it just clogs things up. But for right now, it was our best option. But as time goes on, I could certainly see us improving that and maybe even its own dedicated station. So now let's start in with some upgrades. So that's the big thing I want to do in today's video. I want to do some road upgrades, and then I want to expand our networks to other cities with what time we have remaining. So let's come in under the streets. We want some of the country roads, and let's just go ahead and upgrade to the 50 mile per hour roads. Again, not needed quite yet, but we're going to go ahead and do this while I'm thinking about it. This is a very easy step to forget as time passes. Same thing within the cities. We'll need to expand those mostly for more capacity as time goes on. You can see we've already got some work already done right there with the road network that we've laid down to this point. Okay, so Seattle is basically taken care of. One more for that. Okay, we're good there. Not so much worried about the speed within the cities. All right, let's come back to our Fontana route now. Okay, good. That looks good. All of our road network in this general area looks nice for the time being. Of course, we don't have to worry about the railroad networks. That is already taken care of for the time being. But at some point, the trains will need to be upgraded as well. All right, so now Fontana over to Surprise. Let's go ahead and upgrade this road network. Okay, I like that quite a bit. Now, it would be nice if we could use this station, and we might be able to, but I'm not thinking that this is where we want to go with this, given its proximity to the rail network. Probably not going to expand this rail network for passengers, so our best option is probably to use a separate one, which we could put pretty much anywhere, really. Right now, one of my favorite options is right up here because it's kind of out of the way, and we could do some things up here, I think, with a passenger rail network. So let's just go ahead and do that. So we're going to definitely do a dedicated stop here because this is a huge town by our standards and has a lot of room for growth. Let's see, let's add it. Let's see if that will work. And then I immediately want to come in and expand this on either side. So I'm going to go ahead and do these even before we even need all of this space. And who knows, we might not even need all of this space. But that goes ahead and gets it done while we can. So now we can set up our next network, which is going to be, where are we in Fontana? We are right here. So from Fontana over to there, not a terrible route. And again, we can expand our existing bus route, which is going to add a few kinks for us, but we can work around that. Okay, so we're going to label this one Fontana to Surprise. And we're going to buy vehicles, the twin coach. I'm going to go ahead and start with 7 on this one because I believe we're going to need to expand this one pretty quick because these are two fairly large cities, especially what we've seen with Surprise. So Fontana to Surprise, there we go. So now we're going to need to alter our existing network here. So let's see, the bus route goes, okay, I'm going to want to change 5. Where is 6? Okay, yep, I like, we can make this change, I think, fairly painlessly if instead of dropping over here, if we come in about right there. So now let's adjust our network. Let's see, where are we going to go with this? So we're going to go 4. Okay, let's add a station to 5. And then 6, we're going to actually remove that. Okay, let's see what that does. All right, well, that is, where are we here? Oh, it's swapped off. Never mind. 4, 5, and then we're going to add 6 right there. Wait. Quit doing that. Quit moving. The game just does not want me to stay on this particular route. Okay, so now, again, why? Just stop. just stop. Can we do that? Bus, we want to add a station after. Oh yeah, now we're getting into some large. 1952 is a good time because that's when you start to get into the larger airports. So I really, really like that. All right, where is number 6? This should not have been this difficult. So this becomes the new 6, and that will move down to 7. So now we've incorporated our bus stop, and already, how many people do we have? Okay, we're over 20. There, all right, I like it. That is good. Let's see how these are lining up. Let's go ahead and make... Okay, I like the bus being sort of here in the center. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. That's not terrible. But we are already nearing capacity on this one. So we've got a couple of choices in how we can respond to that. And one thing is we can continue to expand the capacity in our stations, or we can simply add more buses on the network. That should keep the numbers down at least a little bit on this. So over here, we're perfectly fine. No reason to do a whole lot of expansion here right now. Okay, I like this. But yeah, this is getting very crowded very quickly. So we already started out with more on this particular route. So we've got 7 vehicles. Let's go ahead and add some additional ones. Mostly just because I enjoy doing it. So we're going to add just 3 more for right now. And we want Fontana to Surprise. There we go. So here you can see them coming out of the depot. And we are off and running. Okay, so Surprise has a bus stop, which is extremely busy right now. So let's see, how do we get down to Rancho Cucamonga? I like this idea. Coming straight down, assuming we don't have any elevation issues. Let's see if that works out for us. So this is one of the times in the game that I get really excited because we get to do not only expansion, but we are really helping to grow these individual cities. Let's see, can we come right through here? I can't see. All right, so construction is not possible. Let's see why. Actually, I'm not sure why. That is fairly straight. I can live with that. Let's also go ahead and upgrade some other roads. Actually, it looks like that's it. That gets us from city to city. The real fun is going to be when we have to start upgrading roads inside the city. That's really going to be fun. All right, so now Rancho Cucamonga is not really big enough to need its own station, I don't think. Let's see, we can go to New Haven. We could probably even go to Denton. Okay, I've changed my mind. We're going to do a station over here. I was just going to use one of these existing, but I don't think we want to go that route. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put it right up here, and it's going to replace this bus stop. And I'm going to try to give it a little bit of room by putting it right in the center here. And then we're going to go ahead and expand in both directions. Okay, just in case we need that room later on. So now let's go ahead and change the bus route. So instead of this one being at 5, we're going to get rid of this one. So then 4, add a station, and we're going to add this one right now. So that's going to be the new number 5. Okay, so we really don't lose anything there. That's good. And while I'm thinking about it, let's go ahead and zoom in. We only want to get rid of the bus stop. Okay. Okay, so we should have a very easy route to get out to our road network. Okay, that's good. Let's see. Let's go ahead and connect this over here. Within the city, we'll go ahead and do that one. 3 buildings removed. Okay, well, that's not the end of the world. Not perfect, but not the end of the world either. Because they'll come back. That will not be an issue. All right, so now we need to set up our new route, which is going to be new line, he says. So we're going to go from Surprise over here to, we'll call this RC because I definitely don't want to have to spell that out every time. To RC. There we go. And so we are greatly expanding the options for travel for these folks. Let's go ahead with 5 to start. And where are we? Surprise to RC. There we go. So we should start seeing this fill up. Let's go under destinations. And let's see, where are we at here? Surprise, which will be down here. Yeah, not bad. We've already got a good bit of demand there that hopefully we can take over from private transportation. All right, already we've got our first passenger that is wanting to hop aboard our buses. Okay, so now we've expanded there. What about our next expansion? Let's see, Naperville, a little bit far away, quite frankly, but that's something we'll probably want to do later on. Now we've got to get down to LA. Where can we go with LA? So we can go LA to Denton. So let's go ahead and do that. Actually, before I do that, do we need to make any upgrades? No, we already took care of the road upgrades on that side. Now, if we go connection straight to there, that's kind of around the world a little bit, but I think it'll work. The other option is to go sort of like that, which is also a pretty good option, quite frankly. But for now, I'm just going to use the existing road network. Again, have to zoom in one step further than I would prefer to do. And now let's do, let's do some upgrades on this network to bring it up to our standards. All right, Denton is going to be going down to Yonkers eventually. Let's go ahead and put a station in on this route. Let's just go ahead and get that done. We're going to cozy it up next to that and then we'll just do one expansion. Obviously, we can't expand over there. I put it too close. But I think one expansion on this side should be enough and probably is more than what we would need. Okay, now let's come back over to LA. And where do we go from here? I kind of like putting a station right there. That's not bad. Other places we would be traveling to, Naperville. I tell you what we could do. If we expanded our network like so, we want City Road, and let's just go ahead and expand this up to about right there. Then have this come over and meet it. Not exactly a right angle, but I believe close enough. Then we can bring in a bus stop, or excuse me, a station, and we can drop it in about right here, and we can take over and replace this one. So let's come into our main bus line, oh, and of course it would be, let's do add a station right there. So that becomes the last one, which is perfectly fine because we're going to delete the first one. As you can see, you have to be very careful about removing bus stops because the first thing it wants to do is remove everything. So you have to be very careful there. All right, so I think we're ready for our next line, which is going to be from LA over to, where is our bus stop? There it is. To Denton. Okay. So let's go LA to Denton. And as has become customary for us, we'll start out with 5. All right, LA to Denton. There we go. All right, so we should see people starting to pop into that bus stop. Maybe not a ton because Denton is not a huge city. But nonetheless, we are off and running. All right, so roads are upgraded in through here. So we've got good traffic. These guys can go max speed, at least max speed for them. And so the next thing we'll tackle is where do we go from here? We've got tons of other cities, so that is a non-issue. But we're going to need, for example, Pasadena over to, we're just going to call that E, or Escon right now. Yeah, Escondido. That is not a name I don't think I've ever heard before, or at least not pronounced that way anyway. Then we've got Killen to Garden Grove. Oh, look at that. That's a very easy one there. But these are two pretty small towns at this point. So let's see. I am dying to know who is going over here. Okay, 40. Not bad. So how about we take advantage of that? Let's just go ahead and set that one up right now. And we're just going to use bus stops, existing bus stops for this if we can. So let's just go ahead and do, wow. All right, I'm going to do this one a little bit different. So new line. We're going to go 2 stops here in that one city because we're going to have to go around that way anyway. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. Try to spread the traffic out a little bit maybe in between those two. All right, so this is going to be, I have forgotten the name of the other city, Garden Grove. Okay. So Garden Grove to Naperville, which in my head is always Napierville. We have another one of those that's here pretty close in Tennessee. So we'll go with that. And here, once again, we're going to go 5. Spend some of that money, which continues to grow for us. And I'm very happy about that. Okay, there we go. So no new infrastructure there. Now we need to do some road improvements. Let's do the country road right there, 50 mile per hour limit. And there we go. So now you can see these cars can start to move very quick, but as these cities continue to grow, particularly in the larger cities, not so much these guys right now, but some of our bigger ones, which are down through here, Costa Mesa, Fontana, and Surprise, we're going to have to eventually expand these roads that are coming into the cities, these main inlets and outlets into the city, because we're going to need more availability. 2 lanes at some point will no longer be enough for the traffic we're going to have, but that we'll save that for another time. For now, thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned for more Transport Fever 2.